For the first time since leaving office, former President Barack Obama returned to the White House, joining President Biden and other lawmakers to celebrate the Affordable Care Act, informally known, of course, as Obamacare. But as NewsNation's Washington, D.C. correspondent Kelly Meyer explains, the former president's visit is not just a victory lap for the ACA, but serves a crucial purpose for President Biden.
The one-time rivals, then running mates, then president and vice president, back together again in the White House.
Vice President Biden, Vice President. That was a joke.
Former President Barack Obama in his first visit since leaving office, there to tout the health care bill known by his name, Obamacare. But the former president also arrived with an unmistakable mission: to boost Joe Biden's sagging political fortunes. In a NewsNation poll of 1,086 registered voters, just 44% approve of the job Biden is doing, as 55% disapprove. Democrats shifting the focus today on a key achievement of their party when they passed the Affordable Care Act 12 years ago. Then President Biden proclaiming, since Biden took office, sign-ups under the health care law have increased.
It is, to quote a famous American, a pretty big deal.
Today, Biden is looking to make the ACA a bigger deal by extending its reach, a fix to regulations that will lower premiums for nearly 1 million who need it and help more Americans get access to coverage.
The Affordable Care Act is stronger now than it has ever been.
Over the past decade, the ACA survived several Republican attempts to dismantle it, and that doesn't mean they're done trying. The GOP could renew efforts to repeal and replace if they win the White House and control of Congress in 2024.
Our Republican colleagues, as they say in Southern Delaware, they haven't changed a whole hell of a lot. Good folks, they haven't changed a lot. They continue to attack the Affordable Care Act. They're unrelenting.
Right now, Biden is attempting to speak to the millions of Americans signing up for the ACA. A record 14.5 million people signed up for 2022 coverage during open enrollment, keeping the focus on what Democrats call a historic success ahead of the 2022 midterms.
And that was Kelly Meyer reporting. All right, we want to turn now to our own D.C. insider, NewsNation Washington Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira. Mike, you were gone for a few days, so great to have you back. Let's get right into it. Now, the White House has to be hoping this appearance from former President Obama will help re-energize Democratic voters ahead of the midterms. Based on previous administrations, is this a winning strategy?
Well, absolutely. And I think this will be the first of a lot of campaign-style events that you will see as we get closer to those midterms in November. President Obama had all the trappings of a stump speech in the East Room of the White House today, endorsing the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, of course. President Biden almost begging Republicans to try to take it down again because they do feel as though that's a winning issue. But President Obama really associating himself, getting close to Joe Biden, in a way that we haven't seen in quite a few years, calling Joe Biden an extraordinary partner for their 8 years together in the White House, taking credit sort of a Democratic greatest hits. He called it saving the auto industry, nothing less than saving the global economy, something that he and Joe Biden, in Barack Obama's telling today in the East Room, achieved together. And so as we move towards these midterms, Joe Biden and the Democrats are going to have to thread a needle, Nicole, between endorsing, getting that enthusiasm up among the base progressives in their party who are very depressed at the moment, while still appealing to moderates who are disaffected and typically don't even show up at midterm elections when there's not a presidential race on the ballot. So you're going to see a lot more events like this coming up, relying on President Obama when he can be there and when the time is right and when the place is right, depending on the part of the country. During this campaign season.
Well, speaking of more possible events there, or more definite events, Vic, what are your insider sources telling you about what else Democrats may have planned ahead of the midterms?
Well, it's funny you should say that because at a similar point in his presidency, Barack Obama said, I have a pen and I have a phone. And that was when he was extremely frustrated of his inability to get anything through Congress after Republicans, of course, swept to power. After what happened? After the Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010. So by pen and a phone, he meant that he was going to use executive orders. And I think we can probably start to see Joe Biden do the same thing as we approach these elections. Just today, this was an executive order, this so-called fix, expanding the number of people that will be eligible for premium support in Obamacare. Today also extending that student loan pause, not a cancellation, but a pause, and an executive order to address inflation, the price at the pump by releasing 1 million barrels of oil a day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. So he's got this ability to bypass Congress in some circumstances that might not be satisfactory enough for his progressives. They want him to cancel student debt, for example. They want him to do something about the price of prescription drugs, especially insulin, something that's been stalled in Congress along the way. So you're going to see some attempts by President Biden, again, to thread that needle between moderates and progressives, try to make them both happy, get progressives excited about going to the polls and voting for Democrats in the fall, and get moderates who typically don't even show up for these midterms to get out to the polls themselves.
And we know how hard it can be to try to make everyone happy. But, you know, Vic, here it is. It's April 2022. The major news, the major political news of the day involves former President Obama and the Affordable Care Act. We also have Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Sarah Palin, all dominating the news cycle so far this week. Are both parties maybe relying too much on their big players from the past?
Well, you know, I think they're going to do what they need to do, and as best as they can, you know, bring people to the polls by bringing out these stars from yesteryear. Look, as far as Barack Obama is concerned, his legend only grows the further we get among Democrats, the further we get from his time in office. He was given a hero's welcome, a conquering hero, returning to the White House today. Again, that East Room just pumped up like you seldom see, with a lot of political energy. Pro-Democrat energy in the East Room today. Sarah Palin, you know, it remains to be seen exactly if she's going to be a plus or a minus for Republicans in Alaska. A lot of Alaskans have pretty much had their fill of Sarah Palin over the years, but she's got that name recognition, running for the House of Representatives to fill the seat from the late Don Young, who had served in the House for decades. And so, sure, the young blood in all of these parties, you know, you look at the squad, the progressives in the House of Representatives, most notably Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and their turn may be coming. But still, Nancy Pelosi, around 80 years old, I can't remember her exact age, I think she just turned 80,
there,
still running things in the House of Representatives with an iron hand. I think this election, this midterm election could be a watershed, a time that new blood that you're talking about, Nicole, may finally be their time.
Yeah, we'll certainly see what happens. All right, Vic, thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.